You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk. Movie musings for mostly everyone. Welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week and always, because I love you, I am a chunk.
I'm Doge, and come on, do it, come on, chunk me, I'm here, chunk me, I'm here, chunk me, come on, chunk me, I'm here, come on, do it now,
no
chunk me.
Anybody, it's like chunk me. It was like the start of a song, a fun. You know, there is a band called Austrian Death Machine that is a metal band made entirely of Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes. The lead singer of that band did go to jail for hiring a hitman to murder his wife. You're lying. So
no, this is
I'm
real.
Not endorsing them.
That's amazing. I'm Carter, and hunk to the chopper.
Yes, of course. Or as our friend Gabriel would say, get them to the choppins.
That was in college his earnest attempt at an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Get him to the choppins.
But it wasn't even that good. It was like, get them to the choppins.
Carter, why are you hunking them to the choppins,
guys?
This week?
I'm hunking them to the choppins. Have y'all ever seen the M. Night Shyamalan hit The Village?
Mm-hmm.
You know how at the very end they burst into modern day. Sorry for the spoiler. We've realized they've just been living basically at a medieval times their whole life.
They've been cheering for the Blue Knight.
We've recorded this podcast. Okay, how long have we been on Zoom for this podcast? 3 years?
2 years.
2 years.
2.5 years. 2 years. I just got the Zoom app. I've been using the Zoom web browser for a very long time.
About 2 years, some would say.
I would say about 2 years.
Something like 2 years?
About 2 years. Yeah. This would mean I've also, during COVID, conducted class via the browser. But now I have the app.
I didn't know that was
new.
possible. I didn't know you could do a Zoom call from a browser.
Oh, see?
Well, find out
Some
something.
call me a
every day.
trendsetter.
Okay, it's Daddurday Afternoon.
Yeah, we haven't said that yet. I realized that while I was listening to last week's episode. We never said that it's Daddurday Afternoon now, but that's what we're doing.
Daddurday Afternoon, part 2, part dos. Daddurday Afternoon.
Daddurday 2-afternoon.
Daddurday Afternoon.
Daddurday Afternoon.
And it's
I snorted.
Hey, Jordan, can you, for folks who weren't with us on Daddurday Afternoon, we did Daddurday Afternoon for the first time in February of 2020, and there have been some significant events that have happened since then, so some folks might be new to the
Daddurday
show.
Afternoon is all about those movies that your dad comes in to grab an iced tea after he's been mowing the lawn in his tall white socks and his New Balances, and it comes on TNT, and he stops and he puts his hand on the mantle and stands to watch before he goes back up.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
That's what Daddurday Afternoon
phenomenal.
is. In our first movie of Daddurday Afternoon 2, at Daddurday 2-afternoon is...
I think it's Daddurday Afternoon, Rad Dad Attitude. And the attitude has a 2 in it.
Is it Daddurday Afternoon, Rad Dad Attitude?
Rad Dad Redemption?
Now, the movie for this one is known far and wide as Predator. And the synopsis goes a little something like this.
This week's synopsis was written by Legs.
Sorry?
It was one of the crew of that commando crew. You didn't know that? He was one of the first ones to die, I think.
It's like arms, but lower.
Legs. Unless you're doing a handstand.
How's it spelled?
Laygz.
Okay. I was about to ask if you pronounce legs like legs.
No, legs.
Yeah.
Legs.
Legs.
Put your legs up.
Legs. This week's synopsis is written by Legs.
You don't like to eat the legs? That's my favorite part.
A team of Special Force Ops, led by a tough but fair soldier, Major Dutch Schaefer, are ordered to assist CIA man, Colonel Al Dillon, on a rescue mission for potential survivors of a capital H helicopter downed over remote South American jungle. Not long after they land, Dutch and his team discover that they have been sent in under false pretenses. Dang. This deception turns out to be the least of their worries, though, when they find themselves being methodically hunted by something not of this world.
Can I say something first?
Mm-hmm. You may.
I think it was our first Chooser's Choice, which was basically just, we brought to the table directors. Am I right? That was the first one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Ridley Scott is one of my very favorite directors, mainly for the reason of the movie Alien, which I would say is in my top 5, which we've reviewed on this podcast. Great episode. I love Alien. I love everything it represents. I love what it did for Hollywood heroines. It did a lot of things just the way that we do horror, the way that we do The Hunted. Predator is a Daddurday ripped off version of Alien. And here's the thing. This is why I wanted to say it first. I don't care.
Yes.
I love it.
Alien is like that real incredible street taco that you get where you're like, this is like the most authentic, incredible thing I've ever had. And Daddurday Afternoon is a Doritos Locos taco.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
And Predator is the Doritos Locos taco compared to that. And it's like, this is not really the same thing, but it's kind of the same idea. And I love it.
I need it for a different reason.
I was saying this before we started the podcast, but it feels like we stumbled upon maybe the most Daddurday here in our second installment.
Yeah.
Movie that I've seen.
How did we not do this one in the first Daddurday Afternoon?
Because we did First Blood. Maybe we thought they were too similar.
That's enough jungle. You have to have one jungle type.
Plenty of jungle.
One jungle type movie, one cop type movie for Daddurday Afternoon.
I'm going to super dump right now.
Wow, do it.
It's Jesse Ventura's character. He drops a slur at the beginning and it yucked me out. And I know that it's a product of the time, but I still don't care for it. And so I'm going to super dump him. Mostly because that is just so outside of anything I consume now.
Yeah.
That it was like viscerally shocking to hear it.
Yeah, that was the most upsetting thing about this very gory movie.
Yes, unequivocally. Yeah. So I did not care for that scene. And if I could rewrite history, I would take it away because it is by far, in a movie that is exactly what it needs to be, it's the worst thing for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, he does get to utter the phrase later. What did he say? I'm too busy to bleed.
I don't got time
to bleed. Yeah.
I don't got time to bleed. He also says a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah. Yes. He says that the dip will turn you into a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is so incredible. Daddurday. And before that even happens, we have both a spaceship dropping a little, what would you say?
Pod, perhaps?
A pod to Earth, and then chopper shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it is from the jump, the Daddurday essence.
It was the Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers. It's a meme. It's the thing that's the meme.
Dude.
But the like super like flexy, like let's just see how big our biceps are. Yeah. Carter, that's a good bicep, by the way.
You got a nice bicep.
That's a good bicep.
Help Chelsea move her office the other day. It's almost ripped from the flesh. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Were you the stand-in for that? You just stand in for Schwartzy?
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hardest part was the sweat. It's not just, you have to create your own.
Yeah, my guy's oiled up for one handshake, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that about this movie. Now, okay.
Carl Weathers is huge in this, by the way. Carl Weathers is enormous in this movie.
Also another Daddurday ingredient, is he not?
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
For certain he is.
Apollo?
Yes.
And now we've got,
Now, here's the thing.
And baby, you got yourself a stew going.
I would love a time check by somebody for how much of this movie is just machine gun fire.
I do know. I was actually watching time because for this watch, I was like, this will be interesting to see. The last 30 minutes, there is no dialogue.
Good.
The 2 times that Arnold talks to the Predator.
I love it. I'm here.
Yeah.
You have a good Arnold.
You have a really good Arnold. I have the worst Arnold out of all three of us.
Thank you very much. It'll keep coming. It'll keep showing up.
Yeah, good.
I'm sure.
I want to say this was, so Arnold Schwarzenegger, to me, has the kind of career that it would take a lot of hunting for me to tell you what came first. It felt like he had a decade and a half of being the guy for anything.
Yeah.
We've got in one side, he's not as Nick Cage because Nick really just said yes to everything. Arnold Schwarzenegger is very much, over here we have Kindergarten Cop, Jingle All the Way. But over here we have like Total Recall, Predator, Terminator. He's an iconic Hollywood star. So what was so interesting to me is he had Hercules in New York. This was Arnold Schwarzenegger's first introduction to the States as a character. He's Hercules that basically Bill and Ted's his way to New York City. And I think this was fresh off of him being Mr. Universe, which is also... there's workouts still used today named after Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yep.
So this is somebody who has very much impacted world pop culture. So
he's also a governor.
He was a governor, right? And so, but there's this break in his Hollywood career where he's doing really small things. He's like stand-ins when they need like a goon or something. And then we get him again at Conan and then Conan 2, right? Which even then he's not saying much.
Yeah.
And then we get Terminator. He's not saying much, right? He's just a robot. But then we get, Predator. Predator to me in Arnold Schwarzenegger's career is an underrated tick on the outline.
Give me your clothes and your motorcycle.
Yeah.
Because this was a legitimate, he is everything that a protagonist is normally asked to be in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Like we've got lines. He never had so many lines until now. And I think this helped his career personally. How could it not?
Most certainly.
Oh my gosh. And he lost weight for this movie?
Yeah, he's looking a little thin.
What?
No. Giant
like 20
marble
pounds.
chiseled person.
I was laughing at the idea of thinking of Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's an actor, like the legal agreements and filming this stuff. He had to have a stunt double for this movie. So like,
Get out of here, dude.
That's just funny to me that like Mr. Muscle Man had to have a stunt double for the scenes that he dove into the water.
Just in case falling down hurts too much.
Right. He's like, I missed
That
you.
dive was great though.
Nothing hurts me.
Nothing hurts me. What do you want me to dive? I would break the earth. Yeah, 2 governors actually in this movie.
Who was him?
You know that? Jesse Ventura.
Was he really?
I think he was the governor of Minnesota for a jump.
Get out of town.
Really?
Up there in the north mid. What do you call the north? The north mid?
The North
Just
Mid.
the north?
Yeah.
Forgotten country. Now,
Minnesota. That's why it's called
here's
that.
the thing. Predator is the first R-rated movie I ever watched.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. That's a massively R-rated movie.
That's a big one. Hugely
It's a
R-rated.
big jump.
7-year-old Jordan.
I believe I was in the 5th grade, maybe.
So you're like 10.
For TV or did like DVD? VHS.
Nah, Blockbuster, baby.
Oh, you got it on tape.
And I remember being terrified.
There's no Wii Sports, so.
There isn't. No, I was terrified and also pumped out of my mind.
Yeah, of course you were.
Absolutely.
Of course you
For
were.
this movie. Absolutely.
Of course you were.
To the moon.
Yeah.
Because to my young 10-year-old brain, nothing had ever been cooler than this.
No.
And I'll tell you what, to my 28-year-old brain, it's a pretty close race.
Still pretty, yeah, I can tell when you're pumped, you start going Wahlbergian on us. Let me tell you one thing. I'll tell it to you right now. I'm not afraid to say it.
Predator, say hi to your mother.
28 years old. I still like it.
Yeah, this might be the coolest idea for a movie.
It's such a cool idea for
I
a
hate
movie.
that. It's one of the when we did Daddurday Afternoon last time, there was that part of me that was like, I have to
It's
hold
not
it at
reused,
arm's
is it?
length. Is it? No way.
When you're saying the synopsis, it's like they've been led astray. It's what's happening to them is exactly what the anyways.
Yeah, but
But they don't have machine guns.
It's
The
all,
crew of the Nostromo doesn't have machine guns.
it's all about being hunted
They have
by this
flamethrowers,
thing
yeah.
with. All right, I'll get nerdy for a second. Right, y'all know my thing. If you've listened for a while, or if you're one of my road dogs, y'all know I have a thing about rules. I love rules in a work of fiction. Something that tells me this is within the realm of possibility. Now you watch if we go there.
Big world building thing.
Setting up
You're such a narrative narc.
setting up the Predator as like, well, he didn't attack you because you were unarmed. Oh, what? He has a moral code. He's got a thinking brain. And then we sit and watch him fix up his wound.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Poor girl trying to defend herself and pick up a gun.
No, put it down.
No.
He fixes his wound with like medical equipment, and you're watching, and you're like, oh, it's not a monster movie. This is a slasher movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to super dump right here, though.
Uh-oh.
I'll say first, and hold it to yourself so this is a super pump. I don't want to ruin this. The look of Predator still holds. In 1986, you know.
Sorry, are we including the mesh bodysuit?
That's different. Not really. 35 years ago. Like, this is cool. Like, this looks really
very cool.
That's a good
Both
mask.
versions. Obviously the reveal, which we'll talk about later. But my super dump is the fingers of Predator.
It's a little Muppety.
It took me out in those moments. We don't need the fingers. You can tell they're much longer than the actual person's fingers that are in there.
It's like when Cookie Monster eats a cookie and the fingers just go all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah. I can co-sign that.
Because especially even just looking at it, like aesthetically though, and we've talked about in things like in Jurassic Park, what makes Jurassic Park still hold its weight in terms of special effects is because we had like the puppeteering and all that kind of stuff and the actual live things that people get to interact with. So this suit is great. I think it's brilliant, especially the way that our flesh looks, just the overall vibe. But the fingers, I don't ever remember them being that bad. But in this one, I was like, this looks like there was a cut scene and this is a parody.
Yes.
When we saw the way that these fingers were trying to work. But that's my super dump. But
I buy that.
yes, he definitely follows rules. And a lot of it, this is the kind of movie that I'm not offended by spoon feeding.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like when we have the mud too on it.
Can't see me.
He can't see me. Like he also had to say
this mud is ice cold.
What killed the Predator? The mud age.
Freeze. Unchanged.
Look,
it's the same thing.
There is a certain level, there's like a bell curve, right? Of like a movie being bad A, where it crosses this threshold to where it's like, once it gets to a certain level of bad A, you don't care anymore about anything else.
Right.
It's just like, just give it to me. I just want all of it. And this movie sprints through that threshold at about the 50-minute mark. And
so the 50-minute mark is whenever we, as a group, all fire our machine guns and cut down all the trees in the jungle to see if we can hit the Predator. That's at the 55-minute mark, which is like about the halfway point of this movie.
That's when it goes buck wild to me. Is about that point onward is when this movie's like, and here we go.
And this is it. Yeah, completely.
And I love it.
Do you guys think something like this will ever be made again?
I hope so.
Like this particular style, because I think my super pump is like the very particular style of story that this is. And I think the comparison that I've been able to think of is like it is this genre's version of whatever a like Agatha Christie mystery would be. Of like, we're snowed in at this hotel. Oh, somebody's died. It's all self-contained right here. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, it's sort of a bottle episode of a movie, huh?
Right. I'll read this over a weekend. And so this is like the action version of that where like we don't have, and I know we get all of this that I'm about to say I love that we don't have. We do have it in the sequels, but we don't have like a ton of lore of the Predators. And we don't have a ton of like, it's a very simple, straightforward, like, this is what happens. And like, just accept that there's an alien on the planet now and he's hunting all this stuff.
There's something a little like that with something like the first Cloverfield that was just sort of like, aliens here, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, try to live.
Yeah, I think because this movie is vaguely horror, I would call it more like an action thriller more than a horror. But because it is vaguely horror, any of those like otherworldly horror movies tend to lend themselves a little bit to like,
just like, this is what it is. This is what happened.
It's here, accept it. We got to deal with it.
Right.
Very Aliens. Very much James Cameron's sequel. In terms of just same thing.
You don't think it's a little more alien?
I think it's a little more alien than Aliens because it's relatively unexplained.
Right, but the drip that y'all are talking about of not having this anymore, are y'all also talking about just the vibe of the mindless action, or have we moved on past that?
No, just more specifically the like, unless Doge, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm thinking it more specifically the type of movie where you can sit down knowing nothing and the movie says that's okay because you don't really need to know. Here's what's happening. Go.
Right. Because if this came out now, one of the characters would be a government agent. And it's like, and we've been studying them for years. We thought they were here. And we'd be bogged down by all of that stuff that's not necessary for the story.
Yeah, so I think the closest, I wonder if the closest that we get to this now is in the modern day horror genre.
Right.
I think so.
Of like, It Follows.
Yes.
You know, it's just something that's like, I have no idea. They're just here. Ultimately, the subversion of expectations in Cabin in the Woods, but Cabin in the Woods starts that way.
Sure.
Of like, why?
I think I was wanting something more similar to that vibe from like Kong Skull Island, from some of our Zillarilla stuff that we did last year, where it was like, I don't need to know.
So we got it. I think we can answer your question a little bit. We did get a taste of this Predator flavor, I think, in King of the Monsters.
I think so. Where it was just like, there's all these dudes here. The big boys, they're here. Sorry, they're here.
What stinks, though, is we do get the lore, right? We do have 100 years of like Godzilla lore at that point. But it didn't care once they were all introduced, right?
Yeah. I think I like that you get to sort of fill in the blanks with he's not killing you because you're unarmed, and we'll talk about it more second half, I'm sure, but you get the sort of like throwing down of weapons and like, let's do this mono-y alien. Like, I don't know, man. It's something special. They definitely tapped into like,
yeah.
And can it be anybody but Arnold though? Like,
it can't be anybody but Arnold. And then also, too, there is something to be said about just this cast in general.
Yeah.
Just a band of
boys, some absolute.
Well, it's just also just chock full of testosterone. This was some of the most interesting behind the scenes stuff to read of like the ways they would prank each other, the ways they would get up early and work out. Carl Weathers is just the most wonderful narcissist. He like... Everybody would go and like work out early to make sure that they're like pumped before they start filming, and you can see the veins that are just popping out of their eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then Carl Weathers said that he would just wait and work out while they were gone, and then just make them think that he never does work out. It just naturally looks like that. One of my favorite things was Jesse Ventura had been told by the costume department that his arms were bigger than Arnold's. And so in having this knowledge, the circumference of his arms was bigger than Arnold's. And so in this knowledge, he makes a bet with Arnold. And he said, let's measure our arms. Winner gets a bottle of champagne, real expensive champagne. Arnold by far won. Come to find out, he told them to tell Jesse that his arms were bigger. Like just the kind of like
very good.
What happened amazing. Here? What happened with Predator is we legitimately got a 1980s locker room.
Yeah.
A masculine locker room, and just said, go play make-believe and kill this thing.
Go pretend you're killing an alien.
Okay, you know how salt is, what is it, sodium chloride? And it's like that, like pure sodium will kill you and pure chlorine will kill you, but sodium chloride is safe. This is what happens when you take like toxic masculinity and explosions, two things that are incredibly dangerous. And then you combine those two things together in a lab environment, and it's like, it's harmless and wonderful.
Oh my
god! Except for the homophobic slur at the beginning of the movie, but other than that,
yeah. I think too is I've always loved villains because I think narratively they make the wins bigger. Yeah, if you've got a bigger villain, it means so much more. That's why I was looking the other day at AFI's.
Yeah, who cares if the only thing that you overcome is like self-doubt and internal struggle? Let me see you kill an alien.
You're right. The villain's yourself. Get out of here. AFI's Top 100 that they did a long time ago. I wish they'd do another one. But Clary Starling is like number 6.
Sure.
And it's because of what she's going against, obviously.
Sure.
And then like Ripley is number 8. But in this, I do think we talked a little bit about like the mono-e Predator fight that we have at the end. And I think we've kind of already said it, but it's worth having the little filter drip of, we can't do this without Arnold. We can't do this without the Predator. Like the design of the Predator. I think what makes it so good is our matchup is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal. And we didn't necessarily, Arnold gets to walk in with his own chutzpah and clearly be the alpha. But all the people around him, it's not like they were just scrubs.
Yeah.
Right. They had their own.
It's tempting with Arnold to say something like, nobody else matters as long as Arnold's there, but I just don't think that's true at all. I think you're right.
And that was his call.
Crew.
That was his call. This was written to be only him on this mission. And then he said, no, we need a crew. And so this would be, I think, his first movie with Jesse Ventura, but he would actually go out and get Jesse Ventura for like 2 or 3 more big movies for him.
Oh, fun.
The Running Man. Yeah. I can't remember what else he was in with them, but he wanted it to be this crew, which also is super fun.
Yeah.
This is the little boy on the playground make-believe each of us has our own skill set.
Yes.
This is the big gun boy. This is the smart guy. Like they made that guy wear those glasses. He didn't want to wear those glasses. He's like, it doesn't make sense. So they'd be wearing military grade type stuff.
Shane Black, the director of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang,
and writer
the Nice Guys. He wrote Lethal Weapon. Yeah, Shane Black.
Didn't he do Predators? Didn't he do the most recent Predator?
Yeah, The Predator, I think. Or no, what was it called?
Predators,
Predator?
2010?
No,
Prey?
it's more recent than that. It's like 2017, I think, with Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh, yeah.
And it got horrible reviews.
Adrian Brody, maybe?
No, that's the 2010 one.
Gosh, man. I'm glad that someone knows the canon of Predators.
There's many. This is the only one I've seen. There's many Predators.
Predator 2 is pretty good. And then Aliens versus Predator is also very fun and terrible, but fun.
The Predator was the Shane Black one. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Shane Black. I tend to really enjoy his movies, but I steer clear
that
of that
poster's amazing.
It's a good poster.
That
dude.
poster is all human skulls and spines.
I'm going to watch it because I want it to be good. I just decided I'm watching that movie.
As a group, let's watch more Predators to get us hyped for Prey this fall.
I'm down. I'm totally down. Can y'all explain something to me?
Yes. Of course.
Why, and I don't know if this is your experience, but I'm going to guess it is. We've done 400 episodes together. Why would it feel wrong to like there be this like digital remastering and going and changing the Predator's eye view of things? Like the heat signature.
Yeah, because it looks
it is
really
so
bad.
Clearly bad. But you can't mess with that, right? You can't change that. I'm saying you can't go back to 1986 and change what 1986 did. I absolutely.
Are you saying that they should not release like an HD redux of this movie where they fix that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with you.
There are these things that happen, and I feel like a lot of the times, I guess because it's kind of it feels like the current retro for a lot of Hollywood is going to the 80s to do things.
Starting to be
just
90s
keeping it in time, just keeping it in that place. And I love how Jordan, when you were saying earlier, like you just kind of don't care. Like there's this combo to where you're like, it doesn't matter. Yes, there's a handful of rules here. But when I see that like infrared, I'm not thinking how bad it is.
No.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
He can see him. He can see
him. Can you tell that? That's like a language he can read over there on the left. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Did y'all read anything about how they did invisibility?
No.
With the red suit thing?
Yeah, with the red suit thing. It's way more of like, I think Doge, you would love like the technicality of it.
Cool.
My favorite part of that is the claim from the director is that a handful of those, when we just see Predator as invisible, that's not our main big boy in the suit. That's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No way.
He was actually
Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is a Christian podcast.
Van Damme, sorry. He was actually pegged to be the Predator, and they'd be more martial arty. Because obviously 1986, he's kind of a big deal
sure,
too.
Yeah.
Not do that.
But they did not do that. He actually complained. He was like, it's really hot in here. And he feels miserable. He would be like passing out. And so he just didn't do it. He jumped ship. And then they got,
what a baby.
Massive giant of a man.
I've always said Jean-Claude Van Damme's a baby. Just a
Absolute
huge baby.
What a baby, man.
And I want to cradle him like a baby and ferry him across the stream all the way to shout announcements. Shout announcements. That's what the Predator would sound like if he said it. Shout announcements.
I can't do it. I can't do it. We need you to rate and review this podcast. Mm-hmm. And by need, I mean like, we need it. I think it would be great for you to do that. If you can do that over on the iTunes, that's still a pretty heavy algorithm in terms of the charts, that kind of stuff that helps people discover who we are without hearing directly from you, which, by the way, thank you for helping grow the pod. But we're right on the cusp of that energy of just getting a bunch of people that we've never heard of before. And we kind of already have that, hence the many countries that have regular downloads every month, which is still bizarre to me. We also need you to give a little rating. You can't really review on Spotify, so it's much easier. We would love to have some ratings over there, as we do think that's going to be that fresh newness. I think Spotify is for sure going to be the place to go to kind of get a feel for what's the public's opinion of this podcast. But if y'all can do that, that would be fantastic. Thank you already to the hundreds that have. We really appreciate you.
The other thing that we appreciate is just a good dad movie. Next week, continuing Daddurday Afternoon, is a movie I personally have never seen. It's a movie named after a hair straightener.
I also haven't seen it.
So I'm going to say that joke again because it's just absolutely so good. It's a movie named after a hair straightener.
Yeah, Carter, I haven't. This will be my first time to watch it.
It's named after sort of a hair straightener, and it's
so I'm excited to see what it's all about when I watch it for the first time.
Hair straightener is called Conair.
I want to see that with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fine.
Down.
Good. Okay.
Stop bugging me about it, dude. I'll do it.
Fine. Dude. Fine.
Con Air sounds like what a tipsy valley girl might call me, trying to get my attention. Con Air. Con Air.
Or it sounds like a hair straightener.
Or a hair straightener.
It sounds like maybe a mean review I would leave about Southwest Airlines if they raised their prices.
Bunch of frauds.
Cons in the sky.
You're so dishonest. That was my Nick Cage attempt.
There's like a little Keanu though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Patreon, we got it, and we want you to know about it. You can support us at two distinct tiers, but we do adopt the Johnson & Johnson model, and we try to make your tiers tier-free and full of smiles instead. The first tier is $2 a month, and that gets you bonus episodes of this podcast. We do have some bonus episodes cooking for you in our crock pot. They are taking a little bit longer to get done than they usually do. You do have a bonus episode coming your way that relates to our video games series that we wrapped a few weeks ago.
Our what series?
Our Vidya James.
Oh, thank you.
Video James.
Our Vidya James series that we wrapped a few weeks ago. And we did just discuss.
James killed the stars.
That's exactly true. We did just discuss the bonus episode for Daddurday Afternoon, and I'm personally quite excited about that. Those are going to be coming your way soon. And if that's not enough for you...
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if that's not enough for you, we also have a $5 a month tier where you can get those same bonus episodes plus access to our patron-only Discord server, which has been a blast lately. I'm still riding high and riding grateful for all of our wonderful Discord members who submitted questions for our Maximum Monday last week.
How fun was that?
That was so fun. And I have no idea if people liked that episode, but I really enjoyed talking about myself and talking about us for an hour. That was a great time. But yeah, those are our two Patreon levels. So if you feel so moved to support us in that way, we would sure appreciate it.
And now back to the show. Chunkies, are you looking to make high-quality professional live streams? Are you looking to do that very easily and quickly?
Obviously.
Perhaps.
Obviously. Yes,
I think we all want that. Well, I have good news. Our show this week is sponsored in part by Melon, which allows you to do just that in under 15 seconds. It streams to any of the streaming platforms, and you can bring guests on in one click. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to download anything. Works for anybody making video content, whether it's live or whether it's pre-recorded and you're uploading it at another time. Tons of brand options to help you stand out, and make
stand out. I think you stand out with it.
Cash. Fastest growing live streaming product right now, Melon.
And you can go live in just those 5 kicks. And clicks. We've got stands and stands. We've got kicks and clicks. So it's multi-stream. You can do Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff all at once. Cloud-based. So our servers do all the work. As in, speaking on behalf of Melon. We've got the full HD.
Now. We're part of their team now.
We're part of the Melon family.
I put their name on my business card. Should I not have done that?
1080p so they can see all the pores of that melon. And then it's unlimited customization like Jordan already talked about. Overlays, backgrounds, brand colors. And then there's donations. Do you want to earn income and be rich in a new tax bracket like your chunkies, like your chunk boys, like your pod boys are? You can do that with Melon. Take 0% of those fees, by the way. All that money is going straight into your pockets if you have them on that day.
Melon's easy to set up, intuitive UI, easy in-studio navigation, nothing to install, and it will record locally onto your hard drive. You can get separate video and audio tracks for each participant if you're, maybe cutting a podcast episode together after you record. This is a great opportunity to do that. And listen, we've talked before about how easy Melon is. It's super duper easy, but should you get stuck, they have real people there, ready to help you at any point. Real humans who love you, who are proud of you, who will help you with any Melon problems you've got. And if for some reason you don't want to talk to a real human, which I get it, some people don't want to do that, they also have written video and audio guides.
If this sounds like something that's right up your alley and you're interested, I have good news. Melon has partnered with Lil Old Us to set up an awesome free trial for our dear chunky listeners. And if you want to take part in that free trial, you're going to go to melonapp.com/chunky. chunky. That's melonapp.com/CHUNKY to get started for free today. melonapp.com/chunky.
Melon. Show people your melon via live stream.
Have you wanted to use your home equity to pay off debt or improve your house, but found the old way too painful? There's now a new, better option for accessing your home equity. It's called HomePace. Here's the key. It's not a loan, so there's no monthly payments or interest. Instead, HomePace gives you money up front as an investment in your home. That's right. You get money that you can use however you want without the burden of monthly payments. Then someday when you decide to sell, you share a portion of the gains or losses in your home's value with HomePace. That means if your home's value drops, HomePace takes a loss too. HomePace gives homeowners a better choice to access home equity. No monthly payments, no interest. To get an instant quote, go to homepace.com/quote. It takes less than 5 minutes. That's homepace/quote to get started.
Here's the thing. In the middle of the machine gun fire, in the middle of the hyper masculine, beat your chest, oil your body, punch somebody type of vibe of this movie is literally no substance whatsoever. And I think that is what makes this so special. But the one time that we step beyond that movie is my super pump. And it is the final showdown between man and predator.
Cool.
We take off the mask. We throw down the guns. It's go time, baby.
I love it.
That is so cool.
Dude, that's why it's my super
so
pump.
cool.
Because the only sentence you can say about it is, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We basically get like a Macaulay Culkin montage, don't
Yes. That's what Callie said. She was like, this is just scary Home Alone.
Yes.
That bow is
it's
made
amazing.
out of concrete. My dude is bending concrete.
Well, it goes completely through a medium-sized limb.
That's a good-sized tree, and he just blasts that thing.
He knew what he had to do. I need iron. I need steel.
Is there a cooler climax?
Maybe not. I think it's just so fun. So this too is like some of the trivia. It was almost I Am Doo-Doo trivia, but I wish the idea was true. But there's lore that amongst big producers in, what was the studio for this, Universal?
20th Century Fox.
20th Century Fox. Among big producers, there had been a joke that Rambo, to that point, had fought everybody but E.T. And so they were like, oh, you don't say.
Interesting.
It is very First Blood. It is.
Yeah, this movie is so much better than First Blood.
I mean, it's like First Blood was Alien.
Yeah.
I mean, quite literally.
Yeah, and if we remember the end of First Blood, it's like ultimate scene, not penultimate. That would have been earlier. Its ultimate scene is that like we do get kind of this deep, PTSD war moment from Sly that kind of came out of left field that was pretty impressive. And so there's tons of substance there. But yeah, this Predator stays long distance away from that. And I think it's the better for it.
Yeah, this really, I don't know. It's almost difficult to talk about. It's sort of difficult to podcast about the movie Predator because I'm having a hard time saying much of substance about it. Like this is about the most like, if somebody said, imagine the most generic, straight down the middle, like exactly what you think a 1980s action movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger would be. It's this. But I think that's because this is like so genre defining, so Schwarzenegger defining in particular.
Yeah, man.
That it's like, of course, like all the things you could say about it, of course they're there because it's like, I don't know. It's weird to me like that.
Well, I'm glad you brought up that it's kind of difficult to talk about because I actually have a bit that I'd like to introduce, a recurring bit for the remainder of Daddurday Afternoon.
Interesting.
I've called it Design a Dad.
I haven't. This isn't in the. I have. Okay.
Sorry,
I still have to super pump it.
It's not over.
Yeah,
it's not over.
I have to super dump as well.
It's not over.
Okay.
I just sort of felt like I was, in the middle of something and
yeah. Build a dad.
Sure. Build a dad.
Decided to talk over my good idea, but that's okay. That's fine. We can do that to each other out of disrespect or whatever. Design a Dad. It's like Build-A-Bear Workshop, but we're designing a dad, and it's the dad that this movie is for.
Okay.
What does his Saturday look like? What's he wearing? How is he watching this? And lastly, what is his name? This is a group effort here.
All right.
I would like to submit that Predator Dad just finished skimming his above ground pool.
Okay. Yeah, I can get that. Can I handle the outfit?
I would love that.
All right. And then, Carter, you could tell us what he's drinking and what his name is?
What his name is. Yep. His beverage and his name.
Okay. And then we have to decide as a group how he's watching this.
Yes.
I love that. Okay. Fun. So the dad who's just finished skimming his pool. Above ground pool. He is wearing an Old Navy 4th of July t-shirt, the American flag shirts they put out. But
what do those
sleeves
look like?
The shirt is not from this year. This is from 7 4th of Julys ago.
Yes, it is.
The sleeves are cut off, but they are not evenly cut. They're like very like he might have cut them this morning because it was kind of hot when he went out to skim the pool.
Amazing. Sure.
He is wearing hybrid shorts that are also a swimsuit, and he is wearing 25-year-old foam flip-flops.
Yes, he is. Yes, he absolutely is.
Wow. I think that's phenomenal. That I've seen many lakes in their life, haven't they?
Right. Every lake, every beach, most times that it rains.
He, being the economically savvy person that he is, when you own a pool, it doesn't pay for itself.
No way.
So fortunately for him, making exception isn't really the case for his soda that he likes to have on these afternoons because he goes over.
It's like a brand pitch.
He goes over to the local grocer and gets one of those quarter machines and gets himself a Dr. Thunder.
Yes. Yup.
For days like this.
Yeah.
And his name is very simply Jeff.
Jeff. This is my dad 100%. My dad's name is Jeff. And my dad recently got rid of some flip-flops that are older than me.
So how, my friends, how is Jeff consuming this movie?
I think I get to tell you exactly how.
Yeah,
because
I'm going to
we've invented my father.
I'm going to defer to you.
This TNT, obviously, but it's hot, right? It's summertime.
I think the assumption is that it's TNT.
It's TNT, obviously. It's summertime. Yeah. Jeff has just come inside, gotten the oldest dish towel. Like maybe when Jeff and my mom got married, it's a dish towel, and he's put that on the recliner behind his head so his sweat doesn't get on the recliner. Yeah. And he's chilling. He's kicked
his
back.
Nasty body on the rest of the chair.
Kicked back with that Dr. Thunder, and he is asleep before the Predator shows up.
Oh, what a slam dunk that was.
That was a good slam
dunk.
I
like this, Jordan. This is my
Design a Dad.
It feels good,
Design
right?
A Dad is great.
Can I,
Dad? If you're listening to this episode, that's all in good faith.
Yeah, it's all just
all in good faith, Jeff. Fun. Actually, Doge, I don't want to move the needle for you, but maybe we want to end on a super pump over a dump. I'm ready to pump though. Do you want to dump?
Yeah, let me dump.
Okay.
The human laugh coming out of the Predator at the end would have been more impactful. Would have been more impactful if it was
Optimus.
Yeah, if it was somebody that we'd heard before. Like if it was like he has heard them laugh and he's doing this sound to mess with Arnold.
Replica.
Yeah, that would be way better than him actually laughing like a human.
Very good call.
Yeah. That was rough to me. Super
someone
dump.
Doing that did not quite acknowledge the magic that was everything else about this creature.
Yeah. Yes.
It feels like.
Yes. Completely agree.
They missed the mark a little bit there. My super pump is Dutch, is Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch, because in the midst of all of the iconic roles that he's played, Dutch stands out. I really do think that this was, there will never be another Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Correct.
Right.
We're never going to have, I think he kind of, any aspiring Austrian American actor was screwed from the moment that this man came on screen, because everyone will always say that's Arnold. He has, to me, more than what Sylvester Stallone has, I think, in the movie business and in pop culture, in terms of things that are parodied.
Like touchstones.
Entire movie franchises. Even the things that were adjacent to Arnold Schwarzenegger cannot have existed in popular culture without him.
Yeah.
In terms of entire movie franchises that do this ridiculous action like this, you can't help but look back. Like, it almost felt like we needed to have like Predator as a part of the Criterion collection of Daddurday Afternoon.
Sold. You sold me.
Yeah,
I'm just like so fully impressed by Arnold. Above and beyond the best thing about to me about this movie could not have been with anyone else. And it's not like he's not around other charismatic people.
Right.
Carl Weathers was sweating it. You literally saw that was charisma coming from him this entire movie.
Arnold's nonverbals are really good. His eyeball acting when it's just dark and you can only see his eyes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Great eyes, dude.
Yeah, he acts with
Great
his
eyes.
brows and this.
His brow and his jaw muscles.
Yeah, man, he's good. I love Arnold. I don't think that's crazy to say. I think he's pretty revered, even though he's not winning any best performance Oscars or anything. But I think he's pretty revered just as a celebrity in general. But man,
and just being such a good person.
Man,
just being a good
person. I'll tell you what, if you want to tear up a little bit, go look into his involvement with the Special Olympics and how passionate and compassionate he is. Oh, what a treasure this man is.
Yeah.
He even with the things like Kindergarten Cop and Jingle All the Way and all the goofy stuff that he's done, when he is trying to play someone who is in complete control, he sells it, right? Like taking someone who probably weighs 240 pounds and pinning them against a wall. Yeah. And the fear in their eyes because Arnold is pinning them.
Because it's Arnold.
Legitimate.
Yeah,
right.
It's legitimate.
100%.
And of course, the manifestation of that is probably Terminator. But it's what? I mean, he's just... I'm big fangirling. I didn't realize till we got to Daddurday that how much I really like Arnold.
Terminator and Terminator 2, T2 Judgment Day, are, I think, the Arnold's to me.
Sure.
But man, this is close.
Oh, I think this is Arnold the year, I think.
I think
he has more
pop culturally, Terminator is more Arnold, like what he's known for, because you don't get in the lobby of Planet Hollywood not doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So,
it's a good point. Doge, would you bring us home with a beautiful super pump, please?
I have super pumped.
Have you?
Yeah, he already did.
What's your super pump?
My super pump was the how self-contained this was. I said it's similar to an Agatha Christie, like a cozy mystery, but for action dads, for Jeffs, I guess.
You know what? I would really love to see more one-track mind type action movies. I would say that John Wick is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely more popular than people might think. I think that would make more money than
I think so. Yeah.
Movie studios think it would.
I think so for sure.
I think there's honestly a lot of international stuff.
Yes.
Especially Bollywood stuff that is this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is incredibly popular.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of The Raid. I've never seen The Raid, but from what I have heard is that it's pretty much just press play and then it'll end when it's over, and in between
it's press play. The big boss lives on the top floor. You and the SWAT team have to get all the way to the top floor.
Yeah, I gotta watch.
But he houses criminals in this skyscraper.
I gotta watch.
That's all it is.
Cool. Yeah, fine.
It's amazing.
That's
sounds
cool.
Pretty awesome.
It's so good.
That sounds pretty awesome. Guess I'll have to watch it. Oh well. Well, it is time to rate Predator using the scientific cinema scale, which is perfect, of course, and as follows: the best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it.
Buy that poster.
Very good. Dude, it's a good Arnold.
Yeah, yours is so good.
Buy it. What are you doing? Come here into the crags, into the ravine and buy it. I promise you won't get hurt. Buy it. Oh no, buy it again.
The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it and then stream it. And after that.
But I jump into the stream it. Oh, the mud is gone.
Do you want to take the last couple for me, Arnold?
No.
After that is forget it. And last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. I thought you were going to go for it. I really did.
I was just going to be like, God, why? Guys...
Do it.
I'm going to buy the poster.
Wow.
I love Predator. I love Predator.
It's a pretty amazing
movie. It is same but different. Mm-hmm. It is the definition of same but different when you look at Alien, and there's a reason they put these two together. Here's at 1986, one of the, first big cogs of the wheel of one of the most early popular multiverses. It's not like the MCU did it first, but yeah, I think it's just so fun. And I think you can't beat the original. Alien had some other movies that came after that were okay, and I feel the same way about that. But I buy the poster for Predator.
Fair enough.
I'm in. What a blast.
Fair enough.
I'm also going to buy the Predator poster. And that sucks. But it doesn't suck because Predator absolutely rules.
Well, I didn't think I was going to feel like a fuddy-duddy with my score of Buy It. I thought I was going to be...
My score of Stream It.
I thought Buy It was going to be singing the praises of Predator. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with Buy It. I love this movie. Yeah. Apparently not as much as my two homies. But, man, what a good, just a solid hour 40.
Yup.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about the Daddurday Afternoon series that we've had, series plural, is I do see myself someday, if I'm a dad, thinking of you guys and of this podcast as I fall into some of the habits of what my dad used to do.
Yes, absolutely.
And some of the best stuff, though, is I think one of the reasons I bought the poster is I think Predator is that still. I think it's not, maybe it's just now like cresting into another generation that says, watch this too, right? It's like, it's as if our dad said, watch this thing from the 60s.
It has been bequeathed to us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
We are the keepers of the flame of the Predator.
And only we may keep it alight, shining bright for all to see. I want more like this. I want more movies like this to exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can do it.
This is the sort of like bag of trolley sour gummy worms of movies. There is no nutritional value, but I want a handful every time I pass it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's whatever bag of chips has the bold season, the bold flavor.
It's just movies flavor blasted is Predator.
Flavor blast.
Movies bold party mix.
Also, this movie made 10 times the amount that it cost.
Wow.
Wow. Show.
Not the poster though, huh?
Yes.
Not the poster though, apparently. Daddurday Afternoon, what was it? Bad Dad Attitude? Rad Dad Attitude.
Rad Dad Attitude.
With
Redemption.
a 2. Yeah. So Daddurday Afternoon, Rad Dad Attitude.
Or we could call it Dadditude.
Dadditude.
And only watch Ratatouille.
I like Dadditude a lot, actually. Rad Daddi-2-de. Daddurday Afternoon, Rad Daddi-2-de.
That's cool.
That's pretty good.
And there's a 2 in that?
Yes, in Tude.
This sucks. Yeah.
Yes, it does very much.
I love it.
I love it so much. Next week, we'll be watching Con Air.
Guys, I'm so excited.
I'm pretty pumped.
I've never seen it.
Have you ever seen Nick Cage seriously try to do a Southern accent?
Bottle Rocket, doesn't he?
Do I get to?
Maybe. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, good.
And he's got hair down to his shoulder.
Amazing. You're describing everything I love so far. Very pumped about that. Make sure you stick with us. To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our names and what character from fiction. You know what? No, let's open the door. Who do we want to see Predator go toe-to-toe with?
What real person would you like to see fight this alien?
Kick the door open.
Who do you hate the most? Because they will probably lose.
No, dude, for 2 chunks and a hunk, Jordan, give me Samus Aran versus the Predator.
Oh, cool.
Dude.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
That's very really cool.
So fun.
I love that.
I'm Doge. Give me Jake Sully and Neytiri from the smash hit Avatar 2 Way of Water versus the Predator at the very end of that movie.
That's amazing. I'm Carter, and Prey, I'm not going to say the movie Prey is a bit of a red herring. It's an actual movie that'll be released, but part of the reason it's coming straight to stream is because there's been a really in the shadows project for a long time. So Prey is it's the penultimate installment of the Predator franchise. The final one will be we'll kind of get a look more at the Predator's planet. And they feel like they've kind of done the most that they can in the universe, have had trouble with Earth, right? They continue to have pretty much trouble with Earth. There's still one prize out there. There's still one biggest trophy. And it's a revered and feared creature that still lives on Earth. And Predator comes down to Earth. They find their best champion with all of its new gadgets and gizmos and fight 73-year-old Dutch.
Amazing.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Just one last ride.
Amazing.
Man, if in the middle of that description, if somebody hit pause and said, you got to put $50 down on the thing, I was going to say Minions. I thought you were going to say Minions for sure.
Minions versus Predator.
I thought you were going to say that for sure.
Hang on. I'm going to Google that because it definitely exists.
It does exist, doesn't it?
Yeah, somebody has made that.
Minions versus Predator images.
Also, the Predator's real face is amazing.
Oh, it's so yuck, but I love it very much.
So yuck.
Guys, it doesn't exist. Minions versus Predator does not exist.
We got to do it.
There's a minion with a Predator face, which is awful.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Minions versus Xenomorphs, and then there's Ninja Turtles versus Predator, but there is no Minions versus Predator.
I change all my answer to Ninja Turtles. I fully changed my answer to Ninja Turtles.
Let me tell you this.
Kidding me?
This JPEG that I found is pretty choice. I'm going to send it to you. That's quite cool.
Oh, man. Ninja Turtles versus Predator, they would become friends. I am confident they would become friends and end up not fighting.
Donatello, to me.
The Ninja Turtles are so inclusive.
Come. Raphael, now is not the time. The pizza's too hot.
Michelangelo,
it's going to burn.
Pizza down.
He can see it from miles away.
Okay, this is a world where Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dutch, doesn't understand what a pizza cutter is called. Here we go.
Okay, all right. Let me know when the scene starts.
Give me the chopper.
Yeah, great. Dutch, that's called a pizza cutter.
Ooh, I knew that was Donatello, dude.
Yeah, that was a good Donnie, huh?
I knew that
and
was
Carter
Donatello.
has a real pizza. That was a pretty good Donnie, huh?
And then Raphael would be like,
no one never gets me, and I'm so misunderstood.
It's Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
Vin
baby.
Diesel is not in a turtle suit. He just has a red bandana.
all right, something's bubbling inside me, and dog, we gotta do something with the Ninja Turtles here pretty soon. on this podcast.
Nothing feels more like summer than bare feet on freshly cut grass. And this Memorial Day, the Home Depot has savings on all the things you need to get your lawn in shoeless shape. Get hassle-free cutting, trimming, and cleaning power with cordless lawn tools from Ryobi. Whatever your lawn needs, we have tools to get the job done that won't leave you tangled up. So what are you waiting for? It's time to feel the grass between your toes. Feels like Memorial Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.